Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. We are very honored to have our partner from Amtrak, Tom Moritz, to start us off, to be followed by our great DOT commissioner. So, Tom, come right over here. Tom, thank you so much for your leadership. No problem.
Thank you very much. On behalf of Amtrak, I'd like to welcome you all here and thank our partners with the state of Connecticut, Connecticut Department of Transportation, and the governor, and all other officials for allowing us to be here today for this ceremony. We are pleased to join in the one-year anniversary celebration of expanded New Haven, Hartford, Springfield line service, which is dedicated to bringing new connections between people and their destinations up and down the corridor. We applaud the state of Connecticut's continuing efforts to secure state and federal funds to upgrade the rail infrastructure and modernize stations along the route. Whether you're a long-time Amtrak customer or riding the new CTrail Hartford Line service, we're proud to help connect you to New Haven, Hartford, and Springfield and other points via rail. With our partners and elected officials collaborating together, we've all accomplished our shared goal toward expanding passenger rail service for Connecticut and New England. We're glad that the CT Hartford Line service has been such a success for Connecticut residents and visitors in its inaugural year, and we look forward to many more successful years working together to provide reliable, safe, and enjoyable rail service to customers in the future. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tom. We are also very honored to have our fearless leader of our transportation department, Commissioner Giulietti. Thank you so much for your leadership.
First off, thank you all for being here. You know, I said before, it's a year of tough budget battles and difficult debates, but it's nice to have something that's been so positive to talk about, what has happened here with this Hartford line. Okay, 1 year ago, we launched a greatly expanded service in the New Haven, Hartford, and Springfield corridor. We now have 32 trains running every day, and it has been a success on every level, not only in terms of what has gone on around the stations, but if you get the opportunity to go on the website and take a look at what the public has been saying about this service, and if you happen to have taken the ride with us to hear all those people, students, grandparents that talk about using this service to go back and forth, workers that are using it to go back and forth, that's exactly what we needed, and that's exactly what the governor challenged me to go and do, and turn around and talk about how are we going to do this and how do we expand it going forward. What's next? What's going to be coming in? What are we looking at in terms of cars? What are we looking at in terms of Wi-Fi? The governor has this 5G and whether or not we can tie that into the cars. These are the things that are going to be critical going forward to being able to convince people that not only when you build it they come, but they come and they stay. And for those of you who have millennials, you know that this is the future. They want to know that they can live, work, and enjoy life in their communities and not have to rely on the automobile to go back and forth. So again, I say to the Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much for those kind words. Thank you for an opportunity to say something. And to the Governor, I appreciate the challenge. It's been wonderful.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. It was a great day to celebrate more than 634,000 passengers on the New Haven to Hartford line over the past year. That's more than 51,000 people over the projected amount that our state thought would take advantage of this service. What we know is that not only has this increased usage of mass transit for Connecticut, but our economy has benefited because up and down the line, there have been housing development projects and commercial development projects. And as we took the train, we looked out the window at Wallingford and we saw the Parker Place apartments that have expanded right by the track. When we went to Meriden, we saw several hundred new apartment units and many commercial development enterprises that have grown up right along the train station. So this development is great for commuters, and the governor and I and the commissioner had the opportunity to talk to students from CCSU, students at UConn, a professor at CCSU, people who work every day in either New Haven or Hartford who are taking the train. We also bumped into people who were going to babysit their grandchildren or going on vacation and were taking advantage of this train service. So the governor and I are so excited about the job creation, the environmental benefits of getting thousands of cars off the road, and we're excited about putting together a comprehensive transportation plan for the state. And it's my pleasure to introduce my partner in government who has a great vision for our transportation and economic development future, Ned Lamont.
Hey, thanks, Susan, and good afternoon, everybody. Just think about it, on the 1-year anniversary, 634,000 passengers over the last year. Think what that means in terms of thousands and thousands of fewer cars every day congesting our highways. Think what that means in terms of the environment. Think what that means in terms of the ability to get from New Haven to Hartford to Springfield. A couple of folks on the train ride were just saying, hey, can we get a little spur going over to Bradley? I'm on my way to Bradley. This is how you tie a state together. And there's nothing more important in terms of economic development than making sure that people can get from here to there. And that's what we wanted to celebrate today. And one other thing about transportation, it also brings our cities to life. Make these real transportation hubs, Hartford, New Haven, easy access in and out. You know, Susan's kids don't have a car, my 3 kids share 1 car. This is the future. This is not the past, this is the future. And it really takes advantage of what makes Connecticut great. That's our amazing strategic location with some of the best workforce in the world. Let's make it easier for them to get around. You're really going to see our economy take off. And that's why Susan and Joe and I really wanted to be here today to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of this trail line.
Thanks, everybody, and we'll take a couple of questions.
Handicapped accessible bathrooms, that was a big issue when this rolled out. It's taking longer. What's happening with that?
The answer is that, yes, we've got them. They're en route here. We should have them in place within the next few weeks. It was a matter of how the transportation went on it, but the decisions were made, the cars are purchased, and they're on their way. These are the cars for handicap accessibility. Beyond that,
So there'll be how many on each train then?
yes, there'll be
One on
one on
each
each train. Yes.
Okay.
They're rehab cars, not new cars. That is correct. They are rehab cars. Correct. Help us with getting the tolling funding through, and maybe we can look at new cars going up and down the line.
What about, there was also an issue initially at the...
473. That some people get off. Careful on the yellow, guys.
Initially there were some concerns about being able to use the U-Pass for the Amtrak trains. Has that issue been settled with Amtrak?
Rich, come on up. I want the rail. Last call for the 473. All on board. You want the hat? I want the hat. Look good.
UPass? The question was about UPass on Amtrak. Yeah, yes, it has been resolved, and not only has it been resolved, I'd just like to remind everyone that you can buy any ticket and ride any train on the Hartford line. That's the way we've designed it. It's one service, CTrail and Amtrak together.
And have they been continued to be full trains? I mean, so is that a problem? Is overcrowding a problem, like on Friday afternoons when all the college
Right.
kids are trying to get home?
Right. Well, you'll notice the train right next to us right now is a 2-car train. So most of the Amtrak trains are 2 cars, and yes, capacity is a challenge right now. Yes.
But we are meeting with Amtrak on it to try to get them to put more cars on. They have a problem nationally of getting cars and waiting for their order to come in. But we are front and center. We want to ask Amtrak about it. It is a partnership, and they are aware.
Faster trains without building a new track.
First off, I don't know if you're aware, but the on this line here going down, okay? It's been one of the best in terms of what the investment has shown and how fast we're able to operate the trains on this line. So when you say, is it possible, the answer is yes, it's always possible. What's been more interesting is the governor's aspirational goals to try and do 30 minutes from here to New Haven, 30 minutes from New Haven to Stamford, and 30 minutes from Stamford to New York. We're looking at all those things. There's a number of improvements we can do now. A lot of it depends on investment, and a lot of it going forward will depend. And what the governor has said is start where you can turn around and grab me 5 minutes here and 5 minutes there. That's what we're looking for as we look towards an overall goal to try and meet that goal of the 30-30-30. Up here where the density is not quite as much, the answer is no, okay? Get down into the 4-track area, and believe it or not, you're close to capacity down there. It's part of what we have to look at. So it's a good question, Max.
What's in store for the second year? Say that again? Are there any plans for the second year of the service?
You want to talk about the cars? Sure, come on, Rich. This is, rail or bus, okay?
We're not finished at all. What'd you say, Mark?
Say what your name is, too.
Yeah, I'm Rich Andreski, Bureau Chief for Public Transportation for the state of Connecticut. We have a couple of projects in the works for Hartford Line. One is mobile ticketing. Customers have said they want easier ways of purchasing tickets, so we're developing a mobile app. That app has already been released to a small number of our customers, and we plan a full rollout later this year. The second is we've upgraded all of the coaches to accommodate bicycles. We heard from our customers they wanted to bring their bikes on board, so all CTrail Hartford Line trains now accommodate bicycles. And then finally, we're looking at other customer amenities, promotions, station enhancements. In the near term, we have a new station planned for Windsor Locks and upgraded platforms at Windsor Station.
So the rollout by the end of the year? Or before the end of the year?
Before the end of 2019.
Governor, can you talk to us a little bit about your meeting, your upcoming meeting? I believe it was Wednesday with the General Assembly leaders concerning, I guess, tolling and transportation issues. And I don't know what else might be on the agenda.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to the legislative leaders on Wednesday about a strategy going forward in terms of transportation and some other issues, including bonding. And as you know, the two are sort of related because under the Republican plan, there'd be $750 million a year more in bonding on the backs of the taxpayers, and that would inhibit our ability to bond for other things like clean water, affordable housing, and schools. So that's one of the things we've got to talk about in terms of how we schedule this and what type of deal we can make going forward. I got to say, though, I mean, look at these tracks down here. I mean, some of these were laid during the Grant administration, as far as I can figure out. I mean, talk about mag lift and all the modern trains and what we can do to speed things up. We can do some incremental things, as Joe always reminds me. You know, we don't have to have a high-speed Shanghai to Beijing type rail, but we can make it 10, 15, 20 minutes faster just by doing some basic state of good repair and some signalization work, and that's what we got to do to get the state moving again.
So with that, as we wait to hear what happens with the special session on tolls, suppose it doesn't come out the way that you want it. How do you get this money? Are you willing to look at other things?
Look, if folks have a better idea, you know, let me know what it is, as long as the numbers add up. You know, Len Fasano and I both agree we need about $700 million a year more. He wants to bond it on the back of the taxpayers. I'd like a user fee via tolls. If you wanted some sort of a compromise there, let's talk about it. I'm not interested really in loading all that debt on the backs of the taxpayers. That's exactly what we've done for 50 years in this state.
You said on the ride up in the train that after you meet with the leaders Wednesday, you're planning to make an official call on transportation to the legislature. Is that correct?
That's about right.
To what extent is this going to give you an opportunity for a fresh start, to reboot life? Was a sort of rocky rollout. Talk about making the public case as well as reducing the costs.
I've got to make a case how vital it is that we fix up our transportation system, how every single business leader I talk to says it's a key determinant in terms of where I grow and expand my business. And you can bond for it more, put more debt on the back of the taxpayers, you can have a user fee. That's what we got to discuss, or is there something in between? But I would say pass. I mean, I'm asking somebody to do something pretty tough, and that's not what they like doing in the LOP. I'm asking them to make a tough vote that's going to really be for the long-term future of the state, not immediate gratification. And I've got to make that case every day. And I think the legislature, if they got a better idea, if they got numbers that add up, let me know. Otherwise, let's vote.
Thank you
Thanks,
all.
everybody.